Shri Padmatmani Namaham. Namaste devotees and Jai Sita Ram. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our Sunday morning satsang. This beautiful February 20th, 2022, I'm so sorry. As we commence with preparing ourselves for our prayers for this morning, I ask that you all join together with me as we sing this very beautiful bhajan, as we attempt to clear our mind of any negative thoughts and prepare our bodies for our virtual Sunday morning service. स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमार, रंजन सब नर नार। ईश सगुण निरगुण विनाशी, मात पिता रुयार। ईश सगुण निरगुण विनाशी, मात पिता रुयार। तोर माए हम वास्त सदाही, तोर माए हम वास्त सदाही, तार हमें संसार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। सनातन धर्म राम राम भावे, वेद प्रकाश निखार। सनातन धर्म राम राम भावे, वेद प्रकाश निखार। खन्न पखन्न होत लगावे, खन्न पखन्न होत लगावे, ज्ञान जगत उजियार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमार, रंजन सब नर नार। तीर्थ माया मोद लगावे, पुण्य परसार। तीर्थ माया मोद लगावे, पुण्य परसार। संगति संतन नीम चलावे, संगति संतन नीम चलावे, शोभन सब व्यवहार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। रंजन सब नर नार, रंजन सब नर नार। At this time, devotees, I ask now that you join together with me as you go ahead and clasp your hands and close your eyes. With your hands clasped and your eyes closed, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax your spine, relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your forehead. Make sure all parts of your body remain calm and very relaxed. Take this time to use as much energy as you can to focus on a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you. One that helps you focus, one that helps you concentrate. And join together with me as we chant our opening prayers. Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Om पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ईशावास्यं निरं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जथा मां गुरुधाखस्य स्विधनम् ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहे तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहे हरि ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम. As we continue focusing on Bhagwan devotees, we join together as we chant one of the most powerful and life-invoking mantras in this universe. We join together as we chant the Gayatri Mantra. Om Agakshe Varare Devi Akshari Brahma Vadani Gayatri Jagat Mata Vishwayoni Namostute Om Bhuri Bhuvasva Tatsavitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Om Bhuri Bhuvasva Tatsavitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat Om Bhuri Bhuvasvam Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Hari Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Prem se bolo Gayatri Mata ki Jai. As we continue on with our prayers, we start off by offering obediences and salutations to that remover and destroyer of all obstacles in our life and in this universe. We offer prayers to that being who will also place obstacles in our way to help us form a better understanding of life and to help us understand better how we can follow the path of Sanatana. We join together as we offer prayers to Lord Ganesh. Om Shri Ganganapate Namaham. Om Gajananam Bhutanganadi Sevitam Kapita Jammu Palacharam Akshanam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakarikam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabham Nirviganam Kurme Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Raksha Raksha Ganadhaksha Raksha Trailokya Rakshakana Bhaknanam Bhayam Karatha Tratha Bhava Bhawaranava Om Shriman Mahaganadipate Namaham Prem se bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. As we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we now focus our minds on that mother who represents knowledge and learning. That mother who helps us turn the information we've acquired into wisdom. That mother who provides clarity of mind, clarity of thought, and clarity of soul. We join together as we offer prayers to Mother Saraswati. Om Maha Saraswati Namaham. Om Saraswati Mahabhagi Vidye Kamala Luchne Vidyarupe Vishalakshi Vidyam Dehi Namostute. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Om Maha Saraswati Namo Namaham Prem Soro Saraswati Mata Ki Jai. At this time, devotees, we now offer prayers to that universal mother, that mother that exists in multiple forms, emotional, physical, and metaphysical. We offer prayers to that destroyer of all evils in our life. We join together as we offer prayers to Adi Shakti Durga Mata. Om Maha Durgaye Namaham. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swudha Namostute Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Putharate Niharini Jai Sarvagate Devi Kale Ratri Namostute Adivi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnu Mayeti Shamnitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu Murti Rupena Sanstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Sanstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Sanstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu Shanti Rupena Sanstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu Pushni Rupena Sanstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu Daya Rupena Sanstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. As we pray to Mother Durga devotees, we say, O Durga Mata, thou art the universal Mother Mother and supporter of all, and we, your children, worship you in the many forms. O Ma, we see you as Buddhi, wisdom, Lakshmi, prosperity, Shakti, energy, Shraddha, faith, Shanti, peace, Tushti, contentment, and Daya, compassion. And as we pray to you, Ma, we chant and we perform Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye Namo Namaha. We continue to bow to thee again and again. Devotees, we offer prayers to Mother Durga in the form of the Universal Mother, Matri Rupe. Devi Sarvam Bhuteshu Matri Rupena Samstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Dehi Saubhagyam Arogyam Dehi Me Paramam Sukham Rupam Nehi Jayam Nehi Yeshu Nehi Dvesho Jahi. Om Prem Shiva Shakti Durga Mata Ki Jai. We join together now, devotees, as we offer prayers and obediences to the most influential beings in our life. Those beings whose position affects our time of day, our temperament and name at the time of birth, the temperament that we carry, the things that happen to us, both good and bad, on a day-to-day basis, and the most influential factors of our daily lives. We join together as we offer prayers to the Navgraha Devata, or as we so refer to them in English, the 9 planets. Brahma Murari Strupura Hari Bhanu Shashi Bhume Soto Budhascha Bhuruscha Shukraha Shanirahu Ketoa Sarvengraha Shanti Kara Bhavantu Sarvengraha Shanti Kara Bhavantu. As we continue with our prayers to the Navgraha Devata devotees, we offer obediences to that being that exists in the form of the sun and that sustainer of all life on this planet. We offer prayers to Surya Narayan Bhagavan. Om Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryai Namah, Suryai Namah, Suryai Namah, Suryai Namah, Suryai Namah, Adineva Namastubhyam, Prasidham Mama Bhashkaram, Devakarnamastubhyam, Prabhakarnamostute, Suryai Namah, Suryai Namah, Suryai Namah, Suryai Namah. Om Prem se bolo naam Brahmadevata ki jai, Prem se bolo Surya Narayan Bhagavan ki jai. At this time, devotees, I ask that we join together now as we offer prayers to that sustainer of all things dharmic, all things righteous in this universe, as we join together in offering prayers to Lord Vishnu. Om Shri Vishnuve Namaha. Om Shantakaram Jaghashayanam Padmanabham Surisham Vishwadharam Gaganasadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Om Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogambhira Dhyanagam Vande Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Sarvaloke Ekanatham Om Sashankha Chakram Sakirita Kundhalam Sapita Vastram Sarasirurekshanam Sahara Vakshasalashumbikostum Hashriyam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturamujam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturamujam. Om Prem se bolo Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai. And finally, devotees, we join together as we offer prayers to that universal Father and that universal Guru, as we offer prayers to that destroyer of all evils in our life and in this universe. We join together as we offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Karpooranam Varunavataram Samsara Saram Mojakendraharam Sada Santam Hirdayardane Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Om Namah Shivaya. Devotees, 8 days from today, we as a Mandir will join together virtually to celebrate our Mahashivratri Puja. And for those of you who are at home, I ask that you take some time to go ahead and prepare your own lingam and your own abhishek to perform puja with us at home. That abhishek involves Ganga Jal, milk, yogurt, ghee, honey, sugar, cane juice, coconut water, and panchamrit. Panch means 5. It's a combination of milk, yogurt, ghee, sugar, and honey. You collect that all together, and along with your Shiva lingam, we perform puja together. If you need something to listen to along the way, devotees, if you don't have the prayers, or if you're not joining us, you're always good to chant the Shiva Lingam Ashtakam, which can be found on the internet more than any book. But if you so need the song, as you offer your prayers and as you offer your abhishek, this is a very auspicious and very good song to sing for that time. Brahmamurari Surarachita Lingam Niramalabhasmita Shomhita Lingam Janama Jadukha Vinashaka Lingam Tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam devamuni prarvarchitalingam vamadaham karunarkaralingam ravanadharpavinashanalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam sarvasubhanni sulipitalingam bodhi vivardhana karanalingam siddhasura surannitalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam kanakamamani bhushitalingam panipativishtita shobhitalingam dhakshasu yajna vinashanalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam kumkuma chandana lepitalingam pankajahara sushobhitalingam sanchita papa vinashanalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam devangarachita sevitalingam bhayvedha bhakti devachalingam dinakara kotni prabhakaralingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam pranamami sada shivalingam ashharano marivishthitalingam sarvasamudam bhavaparanalingam ashtadharindara vinashitalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam suravuru suravaru punjitalingam suravana pushpa sadarachhitalingam parat param paramatmakalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam tat pranamami sada shivalingam lingashtakam niram punyam yahapate shiva sannina shivalokamawapunotir shina sahamorate om namah shivaya. And the off chance, devotees, that you don't have that song ready, or if you don't feel comfortable singing, you're also more than welcome, as you offer your abhishek, to focus your mind on Lord Shiva. Give your mind, body, and soul to the offerings that you're making while chanting the following verse. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Devotees, we offer this next verses for those who are suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask that they may have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer a prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. We ask that their passage may be a smooth and tranquil one, as we join together. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Vriturmukshyo Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Vriturmukshyo Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Vriturmukshyo Mamrutat. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Karatikiye Namaha. Om Nandishwaraya Namaha. Om Vasukiye Namaha. Om Shri Samba Sada Shivaya Namaha. Om Prem Sabra Shiva Shankara Bhagwan Ki Jai. At this time, devotees, I once again want to thank Uncle Walter and Auntie Sarani for recording a very beautiful bhajan for us to listen to as we continue to perform our virtual Sunday morning services. As always, Uncle Walter and Auntie Sarani have been very diligent. They send the songs to me a good day or two ahead of time. They will always check in to make sure that those songs have been received, and they're being very diligent with ensuring that we are still spreading our very beautiful Kirtiman and bhajans for everybody to listen to as we continue to delve into this life we know as Sanatana Dharma. So once again, to Uncle Walter and Auntie Sarani, thank you for sending that song in. We'll move on over to listen to that song, and then we'll continue on with our sermon for today.
Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Dev Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guru Dev Namaha. सुमिरन कर ले 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 मेरी मना तेरी बीत उमर हरि नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले मेरे मना तेरी बीत उमर हरि नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले पंच पंक्त बिना हक्त दंत बिना पंच पंच बिना हक्त दंत बिना नारी पुरुष बिना जैसे पुत्र पिता बिनहीना जैसे पुत्र पिता बिनहीना कैसे पुरुष हरि नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले मेरे बना तेरी बीत उमर हरि नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले उपनीर बिना दिन चीर बिना उपनीर बिना दिन चीर बिना जैसे पुरुष बिना उपनीर बिना दिन चीर बिना धरती मेरे बिना जैसे करुवरु जैसे करुवरु हल बिनहीना जैसे करुवरु हल बिनहीना कैसे पुरुष हरि नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले मेरे मना तेरी बीत उमर हरे नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले.
Once again, to Uncle Walter and Auntie Sarani, thank you so much for sending in that very beautiful bhajan for us to listen to as we continue our Sunday morning services. Devotees, if you'd like to record something and send it in, whether it be a song, words of encouragement, words of wisdom, it could be a dance, it could be a video, it could be verses from our scriptures, it could be some successes or accomplishments or lessons learned from this week. You're more than welcome to do so. You can record it simply on your phone if you need to and send it in to me at Shiv Shakti Mandir ga@gmail.com. Again, that is Shiv Shakti Mandir ga@gmail.com. You can also text me or email me directly if you have my personal phone number, personal email address. I won't give that out on the internet, unfortunately, but if you have it, you're more than welcome to contact me or let our president or any of our executive board members know. But with that being said, again, to Uncle Walter and Auntie Sarani, thank you for your continued support as we continue to go through and share stuff with all of our members on our virtual Sunday morning services. At this time, devotees, for those of us who have a guru, I ask that we join together as we offer a prayer to our guru. If you do not have a guru in your life, then I ask that you take Lord Shiva or any Deva in your mind as your universal guru, as you join together with me and we pray. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namah Om Dhyana Muram Guru Murati Puja Moolam Guru Param Mantra Moolam Guru Vakyam Moksha Moolam Guru Kripar Prem Se Guru Guru Deo Ki Jai. Last week, devotees, we had started into chapter 7 of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. And book 1 is known as Creation. Chapter 7 is the son of Drona punished. And we had first finished the first half of the chapter. As we continue on with the second half, knowing of what happens between Arjuna and the son of Drona as they're in that fight. Bhagavatam Puran. Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Bhagavatam Puran. Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Bhagavatam Puran. Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Bhagavatam Puran. Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Shrimad Bhagavatam Puran. Last week, devotees, we had talked about the son of Drona and the heinous act that he committed. And keep in mind, what he tried to do was please his father, his master, Duryodhan, by delivering the heads of the sleeping sons of Draupadi as a trophy. For those of you who know, Draupadi is the wife of the 5 great Pandavas, Arjuna included. So he tried to deliver, and he attempted, and he succeeded in delivering the heads of the sleeping sons to Duryodhan. But the master, Duryodhan, he disapproved of this heinous act. It was not something that he was looking forward to. Yes, he wanted to win the great battle. He wanted to win the great Mahabharata war, but he didn't want to do so by vile and unnecessary means. Remember, this was about controlling land and policy, and pretty much the rights of the people going forward. It wasn't necessarily about just taking lives. So, in this entire process, he did something very heinous, and now Draupadi was very upset by this. She wanted vengeance. When a mother gets torn from her children, fathers as well, when anybody gets torn from a family member, we tend to lose all sense of rational thought. We call it the 5 stages of grief sometimes. And in one of those stages of grief, we talk about anger. Anger towards losing that loved one. Anger towards the people surrounded by that loved one. Anger towards the person who took the life of that loved one. So she was in this stage of anger. She really wanted something to be done. So she told Arjuna that I wanted the head of this man. She didn't say that. She said she was very, very upset. She didn't like what happened. She was so angry. And Arjuna had promised that he would bring the head of Drona. Bring the head to Draupadi. That was his promise that he made to her. So, he began to chase. The son of Duryodhan. And as he chased the son of Duryodhan started to panic. He started to panic. And in his panic, he decided to release his, and I want to make sure I say this right, his Brahmastra. The Brahmastra is just known as what you would think as the ultimate weapon, or an ultimate godly weapon. Both he had one and Arjuna had one. So he released his in fear and in panic of the great Arjuna chasing. Remember, Arjuna was one of the greatest, he was the greatest warrior of the Pandavas. Maybe not necessarily the strongest, but definitely the greatest. The most skillful and the most intelligent when it comes to warfare and battle. So the son of Duryodhan was panicking, released his Brahmastra. And in his knowledge, Arjuna asked Bhagwan Sri Krishna, what should I do? So Bhagwan Sri Krishna said, to fight this Brahmastra, you have to release your own. Only fire can be fought with fire, and only a weapon of the heavens can be fought with another weapon of the heavens. And so that's where we ended. And we start now on verse 30 of chapter 7. Where we talk about what happens when both Arjuna and the son of Duryodhan release their Brahmastras. And what exactly happens. The combined glare of the 2 colliding weapons thereupon covered heaven, earth, and the space in between with an expanding ball of fire as bright as the sun. For those of you who are my age, I want you to think of like a spirit bomb from Dragon Ball Z connecting with another spirit bomb, and that big kind of like surge you see. If you also want to think about it from a different perspective, for those of us who know what it looks like, and most of us have seen images of it, think of what a nuclear bomb looks like when it's going off, not only from the ground level but from space. Essentially, that's kind of the image that we see with these 2 Brahmastras colliding with one another. When the inhabitants of the 3 worlds saw how the heat of the 2 weapons scorched them severely, it reminded them of the fire of annihilation at the end of time. Realizing the disturbance it all created for the common people and their worlds, Arjuna then retracted to the wishes of Vasudeva both the weapons. He was able to call back both weapons, the destruction and chaos that it was causing, because he saw exactly what it was doing to the world. Arjuna thereupon, angered with eyes red as copper, arrested the dangerous son of Gautami, bringing him skillfully with ropes like he was an animal. After he with force had bound the enemy and was about to take him to the military camp, the Supreme Lord, who saw it with his lotus eyes, said to the angered Arjuna. And I pause here for a second, devotees. Last week I prefaced this, and I forgot to preface it this week. This is a very heavy chapter. This is a very serious chapter. This chapter has a lot of information that is not what you typically hear when we read through the scriptures. Because you're about to hear Bhagwan say something that you never necessarily hear him say. He says perform your duty. He will always say perform your duty. Focus on Bhagwan. Do what you feel is right based off your duty. But you'll never hear him say words like this necessarily that often. Unless you're really diving deep into the scriptures. So keep in mind, I want you to take every word bit by bit and don't make assumptions. Let me finish the entire chapter, and then I want you to form an opinion and form a subject based on that. And devotees, if you have any questions at all, for those of you who are watching here live on our YouTube channel, there is a chat function. If you open up your cell phone or if you have an iPad, you are more than welcome to chat and ask questions. And at the end of it, I'll go back in and look at those questions and try to answer them for you. Make this as interactive as possible, because I want to make sure that you are fully understanding information and that you don't have any concerns. And if you do, voice those concerns to me and we can work through them together. But what Bhagwan Shri Krishna said to Arjuna at this point in time was that he said, never let this relative of the scholars go. Punish him immediately, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep. Someone who knows the principles of religion does not kill an enemy who is careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, of tender age, foolish, a surrendered soul, afraid, or who has lost his chariot. Bhagwan Shri Krishna at this point is listing out a number of people who should not kill an enemy. Someone who knows the principle of religion does not kill an enemy who is careless, who is intoxicated, insane. I'm not going to go over all of them. I want to talk to you about the intoxicated one. Trying to kill someone intoxicated is like trying to argue with someone intoxicated. We get honest truths to come out and then things that just don't make sense. There's no point in arguing with someone who's intoxicated because it doesn't lead to anything good. It never leads to anything great. I've seen it time and time and again. And here we hear Bhagwan Shri Krishna talking about what it means. Someone who knows the principle does not kill an enemy who has that in them. So why would we argue with people like that? But we're listing people. But someone who's shameless and cruel thinks he can maintain himself at the cost of others' lives deserves it to be stopped in his tracks for his own good, to prevent the person from landing in hell because of his fault. So Bhagwan Shri Krishna is saying that this man needs to be punished. There's a list of people we don't need to worry about punishing. But in this case, a person who's shameless and cruel and can maintain himself at the cost of others needs to be stopped. And why does he need to be stopped? Not because he's going to continue those heinous acts, but because by continuing those heinous acts, he will land his soul in the pits of hell. And Bhagwan does not want that for any soul. Bhagwan wants liberation for the soul. He teaches us, provides information for us to find liberation, to attain moksha. So this kind of person needs to be stopped to prevent their soul from traveling through the pits of hell. If you've ever read the Garud Puran devotees, you'll know that travel through the pits of hell is not good. Never thinking about it, right? I mean, always thinking about it, traveling through hell is not good. But if you read the description of the kinds of lakes and rivers you have to travel through, who drags your soul along, what they do to the soul, how the intense sand scratches your skin, how the salt burns the wounds, how the sun renders your flesh. You don't want to live that life. You don't want your soul to have to travel through that. So it's better to stop these people at this point, is what Bhagwan is saying. Also, I personally heard you make a promise to the daughter of the king of Panchala. I will bring you the head of the one you consider the murderer of your sons, he not being more than the burned ashes of his family, an offending sinner who was responsible for the assassination of your sons. It is someone who has displeased his own master, must therefore be sentenced. What you are hearing right here and right now is Bhagwan Shri Krishna telling Arjuna that you have to kill this man for two reasons. One, we don't want his soul to be tainted any further, and two, you made a promise to your wife. You told your wife that you were going to bring the head of the man who killed her sons, your sons. You made an absolute promise to the person that you've devoted your life and your soul to while you're still all in this earthly pain. You cannot break that promise. This is an important understanding for any husband and wife. If you make a promise to one another, that is an absolute promise. A promise that should never be broken. A promise that should be never taken for granted. When it comes to finances, agreements, arguments, faithfulness. Those are all promises you made at the time of marriage. And throughout your marriage, any promise you make, you must maintain. You must uphold. There's no arguing that. You can joke about it all you want. But here, Arjuna made a promise to kill someone to his wife. And he has to fulfill that promise. That is what Bhagwan Krishna is saying now. Remember, the promises you make are ultimate. Sutta said, although Arjuna, by Krishna being put to a test concerning the matter of his duty, was encouraged to do so, he did not aspire to kill the son of his teacher, despite the fact that he was the heinous murderer of his sons. After they thereupon had reached his camp, his dear friend and charioteer Govinda, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, entrusted the assassination to his dear wife, who was lamenting over her murdered, not Krishna, but Govinda, who was lamenting over her murdered sons. Upon seeing the criminal, who, silent from his heinous act, tied up in the ropes, was brought in, Draupadi, from the beauty of her nature, out of compassion, showed the son of the teacher the necessary respect one owes to a Brahmin. She, in her pity, could not bear the sight of him, brought in ropes, and said, "Release him, for he, as a teacher to us, must be let go. He's a Brahmin. A Brahmin means teacher, not great absolute being of the world, but teacher. He is our teacher. He taught us so many things, so we have to release him. It is by his, Drona's mercy, that you yourself have received the confidential knowledge of archery and of the release and control of all kinds of weapons. The lordship of Drona for certain still exists in the form of his son, because of his other half, Kripi, his wife, with the son present, did not follow her husband into death by means of sati. Sati means sacrificing yourself with your loved one. Therefore, O most fortunate one, in knowing the Dharma, by the goodness that is in you, cause no grief to this ever respectable and honorable family. Do not mistake his mother, Drona's devoted wife. May cry the way that I do in my constantly shedding tears and distress over a lost child. If the noble administration is of no restraint in relating to the Brahminical order and enrages them, that rule will burn up in no time and land in grief together with his family members. So what Draupadi is recognizing is that the son of their teacher, Drona's son, is here right now. And what we don't want to do is upset the family of Drona by killing such a respected teacher and the son of a respected teacher. We don't want Drona. We don't want him to lament. We don't want his wife to lament. Don't make Drona's wife lament. Don't make her cry in the way that I do for losing my sons. What she's having right here is an existential moment, because she agreed to let Arjuna bring this man back and behead him, bring the head of the enemy, the one who killed her sons, back. But in that moment of when it's supposed to happen, Draupadi is now having reservations. She doesn't want this to happen. She didn't mean to make such a rash decision, a rash choice, because she made that with passion. She agreed due to the passion of just losing her sons, but she wants to do the right thing. In her head, the right thing is to not kill this man, to let him not be killed. Sutta said, and dear Brahmins, the king of the Pandavas, Yudhishthir, supported the statements of the queen, for they were in accordance with Dharma, just and merciful, glorious, without duplicity and partiality. And so did Nakula and Sahadeva. These are the Pandavas, the 5 brothers, the younger brothers of the king. And also Satyaki, Arjuna, the supreme lord, the son of Devaki, including the ladies and others. Thereupon Bhima said indignantly, Bhima was one of the strongest, he was the strongest of the brothers, said indignantly, "It is well known that he who without a good reason, neither for himself nor for his master, has killed sleeping children, and that deserves death." The 4-armed one Krishna had heard the words spoken by Bhima and Draupadi, and looking at the face of his friend Arjuna, then said with a faint smile, "One should not kill the relative of a Brahmin, even though one kills an aggressor. As far as I'm concerned, both is prescribed to be carried out when he wants to follow the rules. You have to keep to the truth of the promise you made when you pacified your wife, and must also act to the satisfaction of Bhima and me. So even though you feel what Draupadi feels, I have given you direction. Your older brother has given you direction. You have to keep truth to the promise that you made her initially. You can't retract a truth once it's been made. You can't retract a promise once it's been made, no matter how it makes you feel." So at this point he's saying, take the life of the son of Drona. Take his life. And what on earth does that mean now? Now, like I said, it's a very heavy chapter. But we're being told here that Arjuna has to take the life of this person who killed the sons of the Pandavas, the sons of Draupadi. So what is the action that says Sutta said? Sutta Goswami now is telling the Brahmins. At once understanding what the Lord meant, he separated with his sword the crown jewel from the head of the Brahmin along with his hair. So did he separate the head of his victim? He did not. He separated the crown jewel that sat upon his head as well as the hair that sat upon his head, rather than removing his head. He who, next of the loss of his bodily luster because of his infanticide, also had lost the strength by the loss of his jewel, was next released from the ropes and driven out of camp. Cutting off the hair, confiscating the wealth, and banishment are the forms of punishment reserved for Brahmin relatives, not any other method of physical approach. The sons of Pandu, together with Draupadi, then overtaken by grief, performed the necessary duties in respect of the deceased family members. So, when he said take his life, Arjuna finally understood at the time, right before he was about to behead him, that taking his life doesn't necessarily mean relinquishing the physical body from this world, but taking him away from the things that made him who he was. You take away his wealth, you take away his hair, you take away what makes him a Brahmin, and banish him. Strip him of his duty, strip him of his ranks. Because at that point, when you don't have a duty, when you don't have wealth, when you don't have riches, when you don't have a kingdom, when you don't have anything to your name, you've honestly and truly lost your life. And any one of us can say that. We know people who have lost wealth. We know people who have lost homes. We know people who have lost family members. We know people who have lost everything. And for them, that means they've lost their life. For any mother who's lost a child, for any husband who's lost a wife, wife who's lost a husband, parents who have lost children, or children who lost parents, you feel like a piece of your life is gone. It's a heavy chapter because what we hear Bhagwan say is take the life of this person. You made a promise. Well, Arjuna fulfilled that promise. But keep in mind there's a loophole here to understand that there was a family member of a Brahmin. It's a great teacher. A great respected person to your family, to your life. You can't just take his life. Not the physical life, at least. Don't separate the soul from the body. But rather, take everything away from the body. Remove all of the earthly and physical attachments. Let that body lose what it means to live its own life and refocus on Bhagwan. Take everything away from it. An important note for us to learn here from this chapter, devotees, is that we get so involved in our own lives that we don't take the time to relinquish the emotional state that the after effects of the material objects from our life lead us to. Passion, ignorance, greed, hatred, things that happen when we lose a family member, things that happen when we lose a lot of money, things that happen when we lose our car or physical objects. Don't let those things make you lose a sense of who you are, because when you lose a sense of who you are, the ultimate result is that you lose your life. Maybe not physically lose your life, but mentally, emotionally, metaphysically, physically, the things around you, you lose. And it takes a toll on your soul. It chips away bit by bit. It makes you become less and less dharmic and more undharmic, less righteous and more unrighteous, putting your soul ever closer to the pits of hell. Don't ever let your anger or your need to please someone, fulfill what you think is somebody else's desires, control the actions that you take and make you perform heinous acts. Always be a good person, perform things in the dharmic way, and understand what your duty is, and never harm anyone in an inappropriate, unjust, or vile way. Prem se Bolo, Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Like I said, devotees, a very heavy chapter, because you read through. I started reading through all the verses one by one, and as I was reading through the verses one by one, my heart started to sink, and I was confused by what I was reading because it's not what I've typically read before, and such is your more advanced scriptures like the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, the Garud Puran, any Purana that you read will have something that makes your soul feel so heavy. But then it's up to you to finish the chapter, read through everything, and learn from it. And after learning from everything that I heard, as heavy as my soul and my heart felt, I felt more enlightened by the end of it, because I knew exactly what I needed to learn from that chapter, which is to be who I am and perform things in the way that I need to, but also adhere to my promises and make it so I don't lose that sense of life that I'm living right now, so that my soul attains moksha. Sometimes when you read a story, you have to understand the moral. Don't just look at the story for face value. Always try to interpret as best as you can. That is the beauty of our scriptures. And this time, devotees, I want you to join together with me. Release any burden from your body, burden from your soul, any burdens from your heart. Go ahead and clasp your hands, close your eyes. Eliminate the physical world around you. Take a deep breath in, fill your lungs all the way to the top. And as you exhale, relax your spine, your neck, your shoulders, relax your forehead, relax your entire body. Continue to breathe at a steady pace, devotees. At this time, while your eyes remain closed, I want you to focus on a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you, one that helps you focus and join together with me as we chant our closing prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu Sarvesham Pururam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Om Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Tukabhag Bhave Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktahinam Janardanam Yatya Pujatam Maya Deva Paripuranam Dharastu Me Papoham Papu Karmaham Papu Atma Papu Sambhuatra Himam Pundari Kaksham Sarva Papu Haro Hari Om Tvameva Matascha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Umasatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityuma Mritam Gamaya Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Om Dhya Shantir Antharikshangvam Shantir Prithvi Shantir Apa Shantir Aushade Shantir Vanispati Shantir Vishwadeva Shantir Brahma Shantir Sarvegvam Shantir Shantireva Shanti Sama Shanti Redhi Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Prem se bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai Prem se bolo Saraswati Mata ki Jai Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Durga Mata ki Jai Prem se bolo Navgraha Devata ki Jai Prem se bolo Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai Prem se bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki Jai Prem se bolo Shiva Shakti Mandir ki Jai Prem se bolo Sanatana Dharma ki Jai. And with that, devotees, we've come to the end of our virtual Sunday morning service for today. Again, today being February 20th, 2022. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining in with us today as we continue to do our virtual Sunday morning services. Again, just to update you all and continuously update everybody on the services and the information that we have going on for the rest of this month, as well as somewhat of the beginning of next month. This Monday, February 28th, as I kind of alluded to when we were doing our Lord Shiva prayer, will be our Mahashivratri celebration. Again, keep in mind that will not be done in person. It will be done virtually, and this will be the last thing that we do virtually as far as I'm aware of. But on Monday, February 28th, virtually here on our YouTube channel, we will be celebrating our Mahashivratri Puja. And again, please tune in. If you want to join in performing your puja, try to get your hand on some Bel Patra, if you can, some bay leaves if you can, but have your Shiva Lingam ready and go ahead and have your Abhishek ready. So what you want to have is a nice full jug of water, because you need to be able to clean your lingam off between every set of Amrit or nectar that you're offering. And then have small cups, one with Ganga Jal, one with milk, water, one with yogurt, one with ghee, one with honey, sugar, cane juice, coconut water, and panchamrit. So 10 different things. Panchamrit is just milk mixed with honey, ghee, sugar, and yogurt. And those are the abhishek that you'll be offering as you perform your Lord Shiva Puja. And if you tune in as we perform our puja that evening, we'll go through all the steps together. Have your flowers ready. Have your bay leaves ready if you have those. And make sure you have your water ready because you want to make sure you clean off your Shiva Lingam as you're performing your puja. So have those dhars ready for if you decide you want to perform puja, as we do our puja virtually at my parents' house on Monday, February 28th. So again, Monday, February 28th, virtually we will be celebrating our Mahashivratri puja. Starting Sunday, March 6th, devotees, we will be back in person at the Shiv Shakti Mandir in Norcross. For those of you who are inclined to come and start worshiping with us in person, you are more than welcome to do so. I do ask that you still remain cautious. If you have it, bring your own little bottles of hand sanitizer. We'll have some available at the mandir. Please do bring your masks as well. My ask is for everybody who's coming into that temple, vaccinated or not, that you wear your mask and you stay safe. We stay social distance from one another as we continue to worship together. Remember, coming to mandir is not necessarily about spreading germs and diseases and talking about politics and everything else. It's for us to sit down and connect with Bhagwan, but we can't do that unless we're all safe together. So starting on Sunday, March 6th, we will be back in person at the Shiv Shakti Mandir. However, I ask that you be as cautious as possible and you be as understanding as possible, because what we want to do is create a safe environment for all those who are coming to worship and connect with Bhagwan. It's not about you, it's about how we connect to God. So please be understanding with how we're going to be performing our pujas going forward, but I look forward to seeing everybody in person on Sunday, March 6th. We do have some other events that are coming up, but I'll make those announcements later on, devotees. I don't want to burden you with too much information here. We will still have our regular Sunday morning service next Sunday as well. As far as other announcements, we do have a few folks who have celebrated birthdays this week. So like I said last Sunday, there were some folks who celebrated their birthday the following day on that Monday, on Valentine's Day itself. And first and foremost, to Vimla Sukhdeo, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. She celebrated her birthday on the 14th. Vimla is the daughter of Uncle Walter and Auntie Sarani. To Indira Prasad, who is the daughter of Auntie Rupa Prasad, younger Indira, not older Indira. She also celebrated her birthday on Valentine's Day, again on February 14th. So Indira, happy birthday to you as well. And the only other birthday that I have is for today, as a matter of fact. And today, my nephew, Hemraj, who is the son of my Avita Didi and the grandson of my Estapua, is celebrating his birthday today. I believe he is turning 22 years old. And it's kind of hard to fathom how, like, my nephew's 22 and I watched him when he was just a young kid when we were doing pujas up in New York. So to Hemraj, very, very happy birthday to you. I hope you have a wonderful day today. Blessed. Filled with lots of blessings, lots of joy, lots of happiness and smiles. So very happy birthday to you and to all the rest of you who celebrated your birthdays. With that being said, devotees, I don't have any other announcements. I really do look forward to having our services back in person. We will be working on getting the camera set up to continue doing virtual services. Just bear with us for the first few services. We're still trying to get the flow down and how we're going to be doing this. It's a little bit different in the sense that service will be longer and I'll be more inundated up front, as will Mahendra. So we got to figure out how to get the camera set up, how we're going to transition between screens and do everything else. So it is a monumental task to undertake and to figure out and to learn. But the only way we can figure it out is by going through the process, making mistakes and making improvements along the way. So we will continue with our virtual Sunday services for those of you who'd like to tune in virtually. But again, just bear with us when we get back into the mandir as to how we're doing things, audio, visual, everything else. But we do appreciate you all for your time, your effort, your support, and your patience with us as we continue to do our virtual Sunday morning services. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Check in on one another. Make sure you're all still smiling and doing well. And until next Sunday, devotees, I'll see you next time. Jai Sita Ram.